Okay, Happy New Year, 6th grade. We are going to start today with going over both warm-ups. I had you guys do the warm-up for 5, 6, and 5, 7. This is a review, but it's also the end of chapter 5, so I figure coming back from break, it'd be good to start with something that you've already seen before. Solving equations with fractions and decimals. We did this in chapters 2 and 3, but it's been a while, okay? So we're just going to go over this today. Your homework will be on solving equations with fractions and decimals. Tomorrow we're going to go over this and then start chapter 6, which is an interesting chapter. So this is just finishing it up. It's just a review. I will not give you a separate quiz on this because I've already tested you on it. Today's just like a review day, just to branch us over to chapter 6 tomorrow. Anyone else that did not give me their chapter 5 test back, some of you guys took it home over break, make sure you give that back to me so I can put them in your test folder. Also, since it's the new year, no more getting tests signed. Test corrections, I'm not sure how often I will keep doing those, at least for the next test, and then we'll see how the scores are. If for some reason I feel like some people don't have a grasp on it, I will have you do test corrections. Okay, so test signatures are over. If your parents still would like to see your tests or quizzes, or you would like to take them home, that's fine with me, but just ask, and I'll make sure you take that home. Okay, so kind of a different system here now with the rest of the year. Also, I want to let you guys know that January 18th is the end of the first semester, so we are very quickly approaching report cards. I am going to print grade sheets for you guys probably like middle of next week, so you can check everything, make sure everything's correct before you get your report card. You may have one small quiz before that, but that's the most that you'll have besides homework assignments. Zach? Oh, nice. So just FYI, it's coming very quickly, and it'll be here before you know it, okay? Just keep that in mind. And this math grade, don't forget, it's the only math grade you'll have is the one from me. You will see it on your report card. We have the grade books merged, so you will see it on your elementary report card, okay? All right, let's go over our warm-up here. Okay, this was page 16, number 1. Adam, we'll start with you. Okay, what should you do then? Where are the note packets? There's a ton of them back there, okay? So get one, work on it. Next time you need to ask me or tell me that before, okay? Emma M, number 1. Good, 9/2 or 4.5. Zach, number 2? No, wrong way. Did you do keep, change, flip? Okay, I think you just forgot to flip it. Sean, what should it be? -2 and 21/32, or the improper fraction, Justin? Good, -85/32. I will definitely go over that one if you guys need me to. Like I said, this is a very good review since we've been out of school for a while. When you're dividing fractions, remember, keep, change, flip. Okay, Emma H, number 3. Good, -29/20. Did anyone write this as a mixed number? I can't talk now. Mary? No? You have the improper? Okay. Sean? Good, -1 and 9/20. So either answer is fine. Okay, Doug, number 4. This one's a little tricky. You're close. It's 35 over something. I think you guys are forgetting keep, change, flip, I'm guessing. Or you forgot to multiply. That could have been it. Justin? Awesome. 35/12 or 2 and 11/12. Either answer's fine. Annalise, number 5. Adam, what's wrong? Do you have it? Why'd you? Okay, gotcha. Sorry, Annalise, say that again. Good job. Sorry, Adam, I thought you put it back. Okay, so B equals 60. Adam, there's a pencil in that thing. Why don't you get a pencil instead of a marker? Okay. Can't use a big marker for math. In that little thing over there, go get a pencil. You'll see it sticking up. You can have it. Bring it tomorrow. Okay, 6, 7, and 8. Briar, number 6. Awesome. Matt, number 7. Good job. Donatus, number 8. No? Good, negative 1/9. Very good. Okay, before we go to the next warm-up, any questions on page 16? Mary? Number 3. Okay, so let me move this. Okay, Mary, so number 3, the first thing I want you to tell me is what are your improper fractions? Okay. Should be negative 5/2. That's why. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. That's okay. So that should take care of that mistake. You okay, Mary? Keep, change, flip. Make sure when you fix that, you get 29/20. Okay, while she's fixing that, anyone else on the warm-up? Matt, what question do you have? 60/7. Okay, so let me start with, we have 7/20b equals 21. Okay, what did you do first? So I do it the same way you did. You divided it by 7? Okay, but what should you do? You can do that, but you really should be multiplying by the bottom of the fraction. Yeah, it's been a while, but the easiest way to do this, Matt, is first multiply both sides by the bottom of the fraction. You can still do it the way you said, but it's confusing that way. So this cancels. We have 7b equals 420, and then divide by 7. Yeah, Matt's way is the same thing, Charles, like I said, but if you're dividing by 7/20, you need to remember keep, change, flip. So doing it your way, it would be 21 divided by 7/20, and then you just do 21 times 20/7. So you end up getting 420 divided by 7. I think you just forgot to divide by the 7, or you just kept it there by accident. Okay. You okay? Okay. Doug. Number 2. Okay, Doug, number 2, keep, change, flip. So negative 17/28 times 35/8. You have to do keep, change, flip. Did you do that? Okay, did you cross simplify? What did you change this to? No. 7 goes into 35 how many times? 5, that's why. Okay, because 7 goes into both of those. You okay? You sure, Annalise? Hold on one second. It's okay.
Pardon the interruption.
Awesome. Okay.
I'd like to welcome all students and teachers back from what should have been a very relaxing holiday vacation. One quick announcement for students who transition back and forth between the junior high school and senior high school classes. The LGI exit and entrance is the only available exit.
No wonder
and entrance to use the transition between
okay,
the two
sorry, Annalise,
students
go ahead.
should use the LGI entrance and exit to go between the two buildings. The only other exit that will be open is
That's
the
fine.
entrance.
Yep, that's another option. Mary, go ahead.
Also at the junior high school. Thank you. Have a great day.
Number 7. Okay, number 7, when you first initially converted to an improper fraction, it's negative 62/5. I think you did the same thing as in the previous one. Remember, when you convert it, ignore the negative until the very end. Okay? Okay, anyone else on that page before we go to the next one? All right, page 18. I'm just going to write them up here instead of flipping. Okay, page 18, there were 6 of them, so I'm just going to write them up here. All right, Breyer, page 18, number 1. Good. The least common denominator is 77. So if you actually change the fractions, it should be 35/77 and 66/77. Adam. Like how to find? Okay, who can remind us? How do you find a least common denominator? Alyssa? Yep. Awesome. So you're finding, basically, it's like you're finding the greatest common factor. Well, sorry. It's like you're finding the least common multiple of the denominator. Sorry, I can't talk still. So as Alyssa said, make a factor tree, take all the prime numbers. If there's repeats, you take the side that has the most. So least common denominator, you're finding the LCM of the denominator. Do you want me to make factor trees, or do you remember that? Positive? Okay. Emma M, number 2. Good. It just said find the LCD of them. You can, but the important part is that you're finding the correct LCD. Okay, Zach, number 3. Awesome. Number 4, Sean. Awesome. Number 5, Matt. Perfect. Doug, number 6. No. I think you're still forgetting to either cross-simplify something, Doug, or I'm not quite sure. No. Justin, what did you get? Say that again. Nope. Alyssa? Good. -8/3 or -2 2/3. Okay, I'm glad we're doing this today. This was a good review. All right, Annalise, question. No. You can do it in your head. Yeah, no. If you can find the least common multiple mentally, I'm okay with that. There's not a number 7. Oh, yeah, it is. It is. Thank you. My fault. Thanks, Annalise. Emma M. -2.6 repeating. Doug. Okay. Okay, yeah, just be careful. Anyone else? Questions on the warm-up? All right, raise your hand if you got all of them right on both warm-ups. Okay, missed 1 total on both warm-ups. Very good. Missed 2 total on both warm-ups. Okay, so we're kind of rusty a little, huh? It's been a while. Okay, let's start with, we're on page 16. Actually, I think yours is on page 17. Your definition of multiplicative inverse, is that on page 16 or 17? Okay, mine's a little shifted. So stay on page 16. First thing we're going to talk about is, and again, this is kind of a review as well, multiplicative inverse. And the reason that we're talking about this again is you need to know what a reciprocal or multiplicative inverse is when you're solving equations with fractions. So what this says is the multiplicative inverse of a non-zero number is the number's reciprocal. So the multiplicative inverse of a non-zero number is the number's reciprocal. Basically, this word means the same thing as reciprocal. It's good to know that there's 2 different terms, though. Why don't you just keep that whole note packet, because you're going to need that whole thing for today. Okay. I think. Oh, no. Did you rip out both of them? Yeah. Never mind. You're good then. Sorry. So multiplicative inverse and reciprocal are the exact same thing. So Matt, if I were to ask you, what's the multiplicative inverse of 3? What would you tell me? Awesome. Donatus, what's the multiplicative inverse of 1/4? Good, 4. Same exact thing. I wrote here, the multiplicative inverse of 1/3 is 3. And don't forget, if you multiply them together, you always get 1 every single time. Okay, when you're ready, page 17 now has the multiplicative inverse property at the top. So the property just tells us the product of a number and its multiplicative inverse is 1. So the product of a number and its multiplicative inverse is 1. So multiplicative inverse and reciprocal mean the exact same thing. But when they put the word property on it, that just means if you multiply a number by its multiplicative inverse, you're going to get 1 as the answer. The example I wrote down here is 3/5 times 5/3. If we cross simplify each of those, they all become 1s because 3 goes into 3 once, 5 goes into 5 once. So 1 times 1 is 1. That goes both ways. Bless you. So again, little review here. Questions on that? Okay, here are some of the problems that were on the warm-up. So let's look at example 1A. So we have 3/5 x equals 15. What's one way to solve this? Charles, what's one way to solve this? We're on page 17. It's example 1, letter A. Okay, you can divide 15 by 3/5. What else could we do? There's 3 options here. Sean?
Multiply 3/5 and 15 times 5/3.
Awesome. So you could multiply both sides by 5/3. What's the last way, Alyssa, that we could do this? Awesome. Okay, raise your hand if you like multiplying both sides by 5. Okay, raise your hand if you like multiplying both sides by 5/3. A lot of you. Raise your hand if you like dividing both sides by 3/5. Okay, so I'm going to do the majority. If you like doing it a different way, just make sure you get the same answer as us. Since most of you prefer multiplying both sides by 5/3, let's do that. In other words, as the property tells us, the multiplicative inverse property says if you multiply by the inverse or reciprocal, these cancel, you're left with 1. X is equal to, I'm going to put a 1 underneath the 15. I would definitely take advantage of cross simplifying. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 15 5 times. What's the answer, Alyssa? Awesome. If you did it a different way, do you have any questions for me? Because I can do it a different way if you need me to. Positive? Okay. All right, letter B. Let's do it the same way. We need to get x by itself. Briar, what should we multiply both sides by? Good. Multiply both sides by 11/6. On the left, remember, you're multiplying by the multiplicative inverse, which is the reciprocal. Those all cancel and become 1. Adam, what can we cross simplify on the right side? Good. 6 goes into 6 once. 6 goes into 18 3 times. Justin, what's the answer? Awesome. All right, too easy, right? Okay, let's go to example 2. I'm skipping around, so just stay with me here. All right, so this has really been a while. What do we have to do in example 2A, Mary? You do, but before we do that. Good. Common denominator. So Mary's exactly right. In solving an equation, our first step would be move 3/4 to the other side. But you can't do that until you find a common denominator. So what are we changing 1/2 to? Alyssa? Awesome. Change 1/2 to 2/4. The common denominator, which is the LCD, is 4. Okay. Now we need to move by subtracting 3/4 to the other side. So minus 3/4 minus 3/4. Rewrite the -7/12, putting the negative with the 7. And then 2/4, bless you, minus 3/4 is -1/4. Now, doing it the way you guys all prefer, what are we going to multiply both sides by? Doug? -12/7. Good. So 12 over -7, we're going to multiply both sides by. Okay, so we could actually put these both in parentheses. Is everyone with us? Can we cross simplify? Zach, what can we cross simplify? Awesome. 4 goes into 4 once, 4 goes into 12 3 times. Okay, what's the answer? Matt? Good. Why is it positive, Matt? Awesome. Negative times a negative is a positive, so we end up with positive 3/7. Mary? Yep. Bless you. Yep. Okay, well, it is a decimal. 3/7. Yeah, you got the same answer as us. -3 divided by -7 is positive 3/7. But don't keep the answer as a decimal. I want you to keep it as a fraction. Okay? You okay? So same thing. Anyone else do it a different way and you're unsure of something? All right, let's do letter B together. Okay, letter B, 12 plus 3/5 D equals 39. Sean, what's the first thing we need to do on letter B? Good. So how do I get 12 to the other side? Awesome. So we have 3/5 D is equal to 27. You do not need to find a common denominator here because 12 and 39 are integers. So you just move them. They're like terms already. Combine them. Okay, Adam, next step. Good. I'm going to put a 1 underneath the 27. Multiply both sides by 5/3. These cancel. Can we cross simplify on this right-hand side? Adam? Good. 3 goes into 3 once. 3 goes into 27 9 times. Alyssa, what's the answer? Awesome. Questions? Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs down on those two problems. I know you guys are a little tired, so. All right, let's do a word problem together. Okay, so tree growth. It says the height of a certain Norway spruce tree is 10 feet tall. If the tree's height grows 2.5 feet per year, find how long it will take the tree to reach a height of 25 feet. So it's already 10 feet tall. It grows 2.5 feet per year. How long is it going to take to find, or for the tree to get to be 25 feet? If we set up an equation, what's x going to be? If we set up an equation, what does x represent? So don't give me the answer. What does the x represent if we set up an equation? Emma? Good. X represents the number of years it's going to take the tree to get to be that height. So I don't want you just to do it mentally. I want to set up an equation with you guys. Mary, you have an idea? Awesome. Explain that to us, please. Awesome. Awesome. Does everyone understand how Mary got that? Annalise? Yep, I just did that right here. Yep. Okay, so while Mary was explaining, I converted the 2.5 to 5/2. So I want you guys to go ahead and solve that if you haven't already. 10 plus 5/2x equals 25. Go ahead and solve that and write down how many years it's going to take the tree to be 25 feet. Okay, Matt, how many years? Good job. Any questions on how we get 6 years? Okay. All right, we are going to skip the closing because you guys did well on that. Let's go to page 18, example 1, please. Okay, 18, example 1, a little bit more confusing here. So we have, for example, 1a, we have 1/4 x plus 3/10 equals 2/5. This section is basically the same thing as 5/6. I don't know why the book has them as two separate ones. Anyways, so on letter A, what do we have to do first before we move anything? Annalise, what do we have to do first? Good, so 2/5 becomes what, Annalise? Good job. Okay, so that gets crossed off, we get rid of that. And then as Annalise said, now we move 3/10 to the other side. We do that by subtracting it. So 1/4 x is equal to 1/10. All right, Charles, now what? Awesome. Yeah. I'm just showing you the process. But once you understand the process, you can do mental math. And when I solve them, that's what I do. But I would like to teach everyone a process first, and then, Charles, that's fine with me. If you guys can do this in your head, actually, let me cross simplify. Sorry. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So after you cross simplify, I should say, you get 2/5. Any other questions or comments on that one? Okay. I want you to do letter B and C. Actually, just letter B for now. Do letter B on your own. Letter B, you'll get a fraction answer. Good job. Sorry. Should just be a negative. If you do get letter B done, while you're waiting for everyone, if you want to try C, you can. Good job. Remember, cross simplifying is nice if you like to do it. If not, you can just simplify at the end. That's completely up to you. Okay, let's go over B because I want to make sure I get to the word problems in this section. All right, Justin, what did you get for letter B? Oh, sorry. Awesome. Sorry about that. Good. X is equal to negative 1/6 for letter B. Any questions? Okay, if you did letter C, only if you did it, what did you guys get? You didn't have to do this one. Charles? Good. So if you did do letter C, the answer is negative 11/14. Okay. Any questions? Okay, let's go to example 2. So I think decimals are kind of annoying. So I want you guys to look at this for a second. I don't know if you agree or not. What could you do to this equation if you don't like decimals? Anyone have an idea, Alyssa? Good. How could you do that? Good. You could definitely do that. That's an option. Is there anything else you guys think of? That's perfect. Emma? Okay, yeah, use a calculator. What else? There's something else I'm thinking of. I don't know if you guys thought of this yet. Doug? Not sure? Briar? So what could I multiply this whole equation by? Well, you could multiply by 10, but then you're not going to get rid of this one or that one. It's still going to be a decimal. Good. Hey, guys, look. You can make an equivalent equation. You can multiply this whole thing by 100 because you're allowed. You can do whatever you want to an equation as long as you're doing the same thing to every single term. Or if you're just doing it to one side, you have to do it to the other side. So as long as you're being fair, we can multiply this whole thing by 100. So if we do that, we get 275 equals 615 plus 40m. Does that look a little nicer? Yeah, I know. It's really not that different, but if the decimals are really annoying, which they could be, if you want to multiply an equation by 10 or 100 or 1,000, you may do that. You don't have to. I just want to talk through some other options for you. As Alyssa said, you could also make them into mixed numbers or improper fractions. That's also a perfect strategy. Annalise? Nope. Nope, so let's do it. So after we subtract both sides by 615, we get negative 340 equals 40m. Let me flip it around and put the 40m on the left. Last step, divide both sides by 40. So what decimal answer do we get, or what simplified fraction do we get? However you guys want to give it to me. Briar? Okay, what would be the improper fraction or mixed number, Emma? Good, negative 17/2 or negative 8.5. So, Annalise, no, you do not, because it's equivalent. All we did was multiply everything by 100. That does not mean you have to undo that at the end. You leave it like this. Because whether we solve it with decimals or not, you still get the same answer. Okay? Any other questions on that? You don't have to do it this way. I just wanted to talk through that option with you guys. Okay, let's do one more. Let's do example 3. Okay, example 3 is the geometry one. So this is also, it's been a while since we've done problems like this. It says here, describe the possible values of x if the area of the rectangle is at least 24 square inches. So first question, how do you find area of a rectangle? Emma H., how do you find area of a rectangle? Good. So first thing we know is you have to multiply length times width. We know the area is 24 square inches. What does at least mean, though? So if the area has to be 24, Charles, what does at least mean? Awesome. So I'm actually going to do this. All this stuff, whatever the area stuff is, has to be greater than or equal to 24. I'm going to write it this way so it doesn't seem like it's backwards for you guys. If I left the 24 here, so if you guys kept it the other way, you'd have to have your inequality sign that way. But I honestly think it's probably easier for you to write it with the total on the right. At least means greater than or equal to. What goes on this side, Adam? Awesome. Raise your hand if you remembered that. How to write that? Okay, most of you. Okay, good. Now what? What will we do to solve for x? Charles, what will we do? Okay, so distribute. So you get 12/5 x plus 12 greater than or equal to 24. So you're just using the distributive property. Zach, what will we do next? Good, so minus 12 minus 12. So we get 12/5 x greater than or equal to 12. Okay, last step would be what? Annalise, last step. Good, multiply both sides by 5/12. So cross simplifying, those go away because we multiply by the multiplicative inverse. X is greater than or equal to, 12 goes into 12 one time. Am I going too fast? No, okay. So x is greater than or equal to 5. So what's one possible value of x? If x is greater than or equal to 5, Adam, what's one possible value?
19 and 17.
Perfect. What's another possible value, Mary? Come on. Okay, good. 47. Alyssa, what's another one? Good. 6. Emma. Good. 5.5. Charles. Good. 2 pi. Doug. No. Why is it not 4, Doug? Good. Greater than or equal to 5. Good. Good. 6. Justin. Awesome. Matt. Good. 5. I was just going to ask you that. If I said 5, you guys, all, of course, all agree that that's a solution, right? X is greater than or equal to 5. So if they ever ask you on an open-ended standardized test, what is a possible value of x, you have many options. Now, I would not put something crazy like 2 pi. You don't want to confuse whoever's checking it, Charles. We know that's right? Okay. Questions on today's lesson? Okay, one more thing for you guys. What if I multiply both sides by a negative? What would have happened on an inequality? Think back to October. If I multiply both sides by a negative, what happens, Adam? This would have flipped. If you multiply or divide both sides by a negative, the inequality sign flips. Mary? Yeah, you're exactly right. All right, open up your homework packet. Okay, to 5, 6. And then 5, 7 as well. All right, so on 5, 6, I only want you to do 13 through 18 and 22 through 26. And then on practice 5.7, I just want you to do the evens, but also 25. So just the evens, but also 25. FYI, you will have some problems on 5-7 that you have to multiply or divide an inequality by a negative. So everyone tell me all at once, what happens to the inequality sign if you multiply or divide by a negative? Flip it. Okay? Don't forget. So does everyone have just these numbers written down? Here's 5-6, here's 5-7. I don't want you to come in tomorrow and tell me you wrote the wrong numbers down. Okay, once you have them written down, you may get packed up. Okay, good job today. Happy New Year again. I can't believe it's 2013. Yep.